People who treat suburbs like Bloomington and Woodbury like the same choice can end up struggling to make the right move. So today, I'm comparing both to show you which one is right for you. After more than 3,700 home sales across the Twin Cities, my team and I know both places street by street. So stick around for the perks and the downsides because one of these towns may become your future home. Imagine it's 5 a.m. and you're going on vacation and you've got an early flight. From Bloomington, the airport is right in your backyard. From Woodbury, you've got a longer drive before the trip even starts. That difference changes the whole morning. So let's start there. From the airport, the Blue Line reaches the Mall of America in about 12 minutes and downtown Minneapolis in about 25. Bloomington sits about 10 miles south of downtown Minneapolis. It's along Interstate 494 with quick access to 35W. Woodbury sits about 8 miles to the east of downtown St. Paul. It's right off Interstate 94 on the St. Paul side of the metro. When it comes to airport access, Bloomington has the edge. It sits right next to MSP, one of the closest suburbs. So depending where you are from Bloomington, the drive to the airport can average as little as 10 minutes. From Woodbury, the airport is roughly 25 to 30 minutes away, still manageable, but a longer trip. Keep that in mind. When we compare the age and the condition of homes, it may change how you see both places. If you travel often or head south each winter, that shorter airport drive is hard to beat. You may also hear that both towns are about 30 minutes from downtown. That can be a little bit misleading. With normal traffic, Woodbury is about 15 to 20 minutes from St. Paul. Bloomington is about 20 to 25 minutes from Minneapolis. But make sure you know which downtown you spend more time in because that's really important. The commute comes down to where you need to go most. Woodbury gives you easy St. Paul access. Bloomington makes Minneapolis trips easier. Once you know that, home prices are the next place to compare. If you're weighing these two suburbs for your own move, this is what my team and I help with every day across the Twin Cities. Fill out the quick form in the description down below and tell us what you're looking for, and we'll help you find it. Okay, so let's get back to the video. For years, people keep saying Woodbury costs far above most of the metro. That belief is a little dated now, and it may scare off buyers who still have good options there. Woodbury does cost more than Bloomington across all home types. The median runs in the mid 400,000s, single families push into the low 500,000s. Townhomes affect that number too. There are quite a few of them, and they're bringing that middle price down. Bloomington, however, tends to be a bit lower. Most homes land in the high 300,000s. With the same budget, those homes can look quite different. In Woodbury, your money buys you a newer, larger home in a planned neighborhood. In Bloomington, it buys an older home in a central area with room to make it your own. The trade-off comes down to more space and a newer home, or a lower price and a more central location. When you compare the same type of home in each city, the price gap can be larger than the median makes it seem. So don't let one median price choose for you. What you get depends on the home itself. So let's talk about that. Walk down a street in each town and you'll feel the difference right away. In Woodbury, you might smell fresh lumber from a house going up down the block or maybe next door. In Bloomington, you may be standing under a tree that's older than you are in a neighborhood that's had time to develop over decades. That's the main split here. New construction versus established homes. Woodbury still has active new construction. Builders are adding homes along the eastern and southern edges of the city. So if you want brand new, it's much easier to find it in Woodbury. You'll see open floor plans, large primary suites, and 3-car garage options. Bloomington is mostly built out. More than 80% of its homes were built between the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So new construction in Bloomington usually means tearing down an older home and rebuilding. Older doesn't mean worse though. You get real character and large mature trees. Those are the kind of trees that can take 50 years to grow, believe it or not. But make sure you go in with your eyes wide open. With an older home, check the age of the big items. That means the roof, the furnace, the water heater, the windows, the sewer line, the siding, just to name a few. You may spend a few $1,000s at first if any of those things need repairs or replacements. That means a much larger bill during those first few years. That's not a reason to run. It's just part of buying in an established neighborhood. New homes can mean less work and fewer large costs up front. So think about how you want to spend your first few years. Do you want to unpack and settle in, or make those updates? Either way, one cost follows both homes. It shows up whether the house is brand new or 60 years old. Have you ever wondered why two similar homes in towns in the same metro area have different tax bills? Well, a big part of it comes down to the fact that they are in different counties. Bloomington is in Hennepin County, while Woodbury is in Washington County. Each county sets its own rates, and each city does the same. Some buyers assume one city is cheaper across the board, but it doesn't work that way. When two homes cost about the same, the tax bills can be closer than you'd expect. One town may have a lower city rate, while the other has a lower county rate. Those differences can mostly balance out. However, you need to pay attention to them. But there are a few things you need to know. Woodbury homes tend to cost more. So even when the tax rates are close, the higher home price can mean a larger tax bill. Some newer neighborhoods can also have special assessments for roads and utilities. Make sure you check the real tax bill on any home you like before you enter into a purchase agreement. Don't rely on an estimate. Pull the actual statement from the county. This is one of those details buyers skip. Then fill it every year after they purchase that home. Once the money side is clear, we can get into what daily life looks like around the town. So think about your typical Saturday with a full errand list. In Bloomington, you may be competing with tourists at the mall the size of a small town, but you can get most things in just one stop. In Woodbury, things that can be less busy, with lots of retail and grocery options, but more spread out, which means a bit more driving. That gives each town a very different feel. Bloomington is a major shopping spot. It's home to the Mall of America, one of the biggest malls in the country and one of the top 5 biggest malls in the world. We have over 500 stores, dozens of restaurants, and tens of millions of visitors each year. You'll also find miles of shopping and dining along Interstate 494. Living near the mall is great for a fun day out. For everyday errands though, it feels more like a destination than a corner store. On weekends and holidays, the whole area can get quite packed. Woodbury has its own shopping areas, including Woodbury Lakes, City Place, and Tamarack Village. Most of these areas have grocery stores, retail spots, the pharmacy, and dinner all along the same corridor. Both towns feel settled today, but they're heading in different directions, and we'll get into that soon. One thing to know is neither town has a true downtown. You don't find that old main street lined with walkable shops. Both were built around driving. So if that village feel is high on your list, keep that in mind because neither of these actually have that. Bloomington works well for a big day out. Woodbury makes quick casual stops easier. Now, let's step outside because the parks make these towns feel very different. So both of these suburbs have real wilderness inside the city limits. You'll find deer, woods, and the kind of space you wouldn't expect in a suburb. A large part of Bloomington touches parks and open land, including the Minnesota River Valley Wildlife Refuge, which stretches about 14,000 acres along the river. One quick note. You may hear that 1/3 of Bloomington is parks. That number includes federal and regional land, not just city parks. You can still use all of it, and that land is protected, so that's great. There's also Highland Lake Park Reserve on the west side. It's part of the Three Rivers Park system, covering more than 2,500 acres with hiking, a nature center, and even a ski hill in the winter. Woodbury, on the other hand, has more walking and biking trails. The city has over 180 miles of connected trails and thousands of acres of parkland. The cool thing is you can step outside, hop on a paved path, and ride for miles. Carver Lake, Colby Lake, and Powers Lake also give you plenty of water access. Bloomington gives you a more park-focused feel. Woodbury brings trails closer to your front door. The difference gives you a look at where each town is headed next. One town is growing fast, while the other has mostly leveled off. Bloomington has settled in. It sits around 88,000 people and has stayed fairly steady and even dropped a little. That gives an established central feel. Woodbury is still growing. It's one of the fastest growing cities in the state, with more than 80,000 people and more development ahead. It's grown by about 10% since 2020. That gives it a newer, busier feel, with more homes and businesses still coming. But that growth all comes at a trade-off. You may get new stores, new neighbors, and new energy. You also deal with construction near your home for a while. Bloomington gives you a place that already feels settled. Woodbury gives you a place that's still changing. That choice can tell you a lot about which town fits your life. Okay, let's make this easy. Lean Bloomington if you want a central location, quick airport access, big shopping, and more established neighborhoods. It's also a strong pick if you spend a lot of time in Minneapolis or would use the Blue Line. Lean Woodbury if you want newer homes, lots of trails, easy St. Paul access, and a community that's still growing. It's also a strong pick if you want less work on the house and more space for your money. Both are good options. Your daily life and priorities should break the tie. So pick the town that works best for your life, and you won't second guess it later. Before you commit to that big decision and deal with that choice for years, fill out the form in the description down below and we'll help you find a home in a suburb you want. So tell us your budget and your timing and we'll point you towards homes in the suburb that fit your life. If you're planning a move and don't want to land in the wrong spot, watch the video linked on the screen right here. It breaks down which Minneapolis suburbs to be careful with right now and which overlooked ones are worth a closer look. We'll see you in the next video and at the next home.